Hello pilots of the internet and welcome to Foldable Flight. In this video I'm going to teach you how to fold Lapetus, designed by Turbulent, who's one of the grand prize winners for this year's Paper Airplane Designer Contest. Now, as part of the grand prize for this contest, I have designed a custom trophy featuring Turbulent's name on it, as well as a depiction of the plane, Lapetus, on it as well. So just take a look. I don't know if you can see it that well on camera, but we did laser engraving on the sides this year instead of stamping that on, and I think it just looks even better than previous trophies have. So I'm really excited to send these out very soon. Now, as you can see, Lapetus is an absolutely awesome paper airplane. It has these cool spikes at the back, a wing angle change, a wrap that actually locks it together in a three-dimensional shape, and it can fly up to 150 feet. If you support me on patreon.com/foldableflight, you can download and print off a template that makes it look like this, taking that appearance to another level. And I'm just so excited to include this paper airplane in the board game I am currently developing. If you would like to learn more about my paper airplane racing game, head over to foldableflight.com and scroll down and add your email to our email list. I'll be sending out updates as I continue to develop that product. With all of that said, let's see this plane in flight, and then I'll teach you how to fold it. 3, 2, 1, go! All you'll need in order to fold Lapetus is a sheet of 8.5 by 11 inch paper or A4 paper and a pin and a ruler. Now, if you're starting with A4 paper, be sure to fold the top 2.5 centimeters down to make a band like that at the top of your paper. Otherwise, the steps will be the same as what I show here. If you're using 8.5 by 11 inch paper, you start just like this. And now we're going to fold the right edge to the left edge. We'll go ahead and open that up. And now fold this top corner here so it lands on the left side, and then you have to make sure that your crease goes right through this corner down here. So we're just lining all that up at once, making sure, again, that corner's on the edge. The crease goes right through this corner down here. There you go. And once you do one side, open that up, and we're doing the same thing on the other side now. Okay, now the next step is to fold right across the center crease. So you can see my center crease goes here right up to that point there. So I'm just kind of opening this back up and right across that center crease. I know this is kind of tricky. Tricky to show you on camera and tricky to do. But you want to place a crease that runs right along the center crease of the paper. And then you'll close this side up and do the same thing by opening that back up right to the point of your pocket, and then land this right along the center crease. I know that's a tricky step. That's one of the reasons this is an advanced paper airplane, but hopefully you were able to do that. And now we're going to flatten this, just pulling that down and landing that center crease on the center crease behind it, and then crease these layers just like this to flatten the pocket. And now I'm going to swing this diagonal crease here to line up with my center crease. So I'm just kind of swinging that into alignment. And once I have that lined up, I'll flatten that like so. And then I'm going to reverse that crease there and swing this crease to land right on top of it on that center crease. Just like that. And that gives us this little rabbit ear that we're now going to squash fold by opening it up and kind of pushing along the spine Make sure you push all the way to the nose up there and flatten it like so. And now we want to tuck this inside the model, so I'm going to hold the right side closed right now and open up the left side like that, and just push on that and close it back up to tuck it in. And then hold the left side closed, open up the right side, push on that, and close it back up. So it should now look like this. And now we're going to fold. Well, let me first flip it over, and we're going to fold this down, and basically I want to land this on the center crease and place my crease right where these edges converge and create that intersection right there. Just like that. And now we'll open it back up into this orientation. And you're going to measure, if you're using 8.5 by 11 inch, 1 inch below this crease, so something like that. If you're using A4, that's going to be a measurement of 2 centimeters. I have a nice little grid here on my paper, so I'm just going to actually mark right there. Or rather, I'm going to flip it over and mark on this side. That'll be easier for me to see when I actually make my crease. And fold it back up to here, and we're folding straight across at that point there. But I've got a nice reference on the other side. Now, before you really make a firm crease here, it's helpful to flip it over and make sure you're not getting crooked like I am here. Land this crease here on that crease there. And you can flip it over, really firm up your crease if you need to. And then we'll open it up into this position, and I'm going to take this flap and push it to the left. Now I want to fold this edge here to my center crease, but I only need to crease to this horizontal crease that we have there. So I'm not creasing all the way down the page. I'm going to stop right here. Just like that. Push these the other direction, do the same thing on this side. Okay, and now we can open those back up and fold down on that bottom crease, up on this crease, and now we're ready to do a more complicated sequence of steps here. I'll push this in that direction and close that up on the existing crease. Obviously that doesn't lie flat. So now we need to reach into this pocket and kind of pull, fan it open and pull until it catches right there. And then you can pull and create tension and gently make a crease going right to this corner. And once you've got that nailed down, now you can flatten your wing out by taking all the remaining slack and pushing it out that way to make the edge of the wing. Once you do that on one side, you just push these to the other side and do the same sequence of steps. Close up there, fan that pocket open, make it catch right there, and now crease from that point to this point and push all the slack out. Okay, now I'm going to fold from right at this point here where that layer is to this corner down here. Just like that. And then the portion of that layer that goes past that edge there, I'm just going to fold back across that edge. Just like that. And I'll repeat those steps on the right side now. Okay, and we're actually going to be reversing these creases. So I go ahead and reverse this one. That's really easy. Just like that. But these longer creases are a bit trickier. I'm going to kind of open it up just enough to reach behind and this section that's thick is going to be the part that fights you the most. Kind of start to get that to bend. You're just making the crease go in the opposite direction. You don't need to make any new crease there. And then once you've done that, you can just swing that in behind all the other layers, just like that, and lay it flat again. So we'll do the same thing on this other side. Get those out of the way. Just kind of bend those thick layers, get it started. And tuck that in behind. And lay it flat again. Okay, so your paper should now look like this. I'm going to open the paper and then actually fold it in half like this and just set it down. And now I'm going to fold starting along this edge and taking it to this edge. Okay, I'll flip it over, do the same thing on this side. And your plane should look like this. So now it's time to wrap these layers around the body of the plane and make that locking mechanism. And we're going to start by just kind of pushing them and pinching them down like this and just bending this in both directions to create creases there, to kind of just make them adhere to the sides of the plane. And the next step's a little bit tricky because when I flip it over, you can see, basically I want to make a crease that goes right from where this edge intersects the wing up to the nose. But the kind of tricky thing is it's easiest to do that while holding it in one hand. See, I'm pinching these layers tight to the plane as I then start to make this crease. And you don't have to do the whole step holding it like this, but I find it's nice to at least get the crease started that way. And then you can set it down, make sure this layer's tight. You can pull it tight and then actually finalize your crease. Mine's not tight enough yet, so I'm going to get that out of the way. Tighten this side up by pulling like that and placing my crease. Okay, and now I'm really just getting this layer out of the way and looking at the side I've already wrapped around a little bit. And again, you always want to keep the keel of the plane pinched as you do these steps. And now we're going to wrap right along this layer, just pulling that tight, and again, making a crease right along that just by pulling it tight to it. And then you want a crease that goes right along that edge, so just push it tight, rock it this way, and then wrap this around that edge, like so. And that creates another crease when you bend it like that. And so now you can see I actually want to reverse this very last crease out here, just like that. And all the other creases are in the right direction. But basically I actually want to open up this pocket just enough to wrap this around, and using this crease here, begin to tuck it in and wrap that all the way in past the bend in the paper. I know it's a little tricky to do that, but you want to actually tuck it in past that bend. You can see I'm opening it all the way up. Sometimes this will get unlocked when you do that. Don't worry, you can just tuck that back in. But there you go. Now that's going to hold tight because it wrapped around that bend into the wing of the plane. Okay, so now we need to do all that in reverse on the other side. So we're going to take that layer, fold it like that, and now this edge we need to fold up to the nose of the plane. Again, hold that layer tight, pull this layer tight, and then place your crease. Wrap it right around that edge, placing creases on all those various places where it's changing direction. Fold this now right over that, and then bend this over. And that places that last little crease there, which is one you're going to reverse. And now, again, we need to open this pocket up and tuck this in and wrap it all the way into the wing, all the way around, just like that. And now finally, we have a plane that's truly locked together. You can see what that looks like. And now all we have to do is fold our little fins. And what we want to do is fold from this point right here straight forward so that the crease we make is parallel to the center crease. And we will do that on both sides. And now it should look something like that. It is totally fine for your wings to angle up a little bit like mine do. This is called giving a plane dihedral angle and helps it to fly in a straighter line. And then you want your fins to point straight down at the ground. And with that, thank you so much for folding, and good luck flying your plane. Thank you so much to all of our patrons for supporting this channel and making videos like this one possible. If you join the Foldable Fleet, you'll get to watch each of our monthly live streams, and you can become the pilot of your favorite paper airplane. Your name will appear beside it when I thank each of our patrons like this at the end of each of our videos. So head over to patreon.com/foldableflight and join the Foldable Fleet today.